Good evening. It's Thursday, November 23rd of 2023. Orion's back and I'm excited for my first day shooting Orion. I'm gonna go for the 50mm wide field shot of it today and hopefully see if I can bring out Barnard's loop, but I'm really excited. Let's go. It had been a few months since I last went through the ritual of setting up a polar lining, and it definitely showed. Being a nav geek though, sometimes I'll mark time knowing when a few flights depart. And off in the distance is EVA Air Flight 23, the daily flight to Taipei. Yep, so based on that, I'm very late getting everything up and running, but it's been a while, so I'm a little rusty setting everything up. But nevertheless, I've settled on ISO 1600, 15-second exposures, and I think f3.5 or f4, one of those. Hopefully this works out. Hopefully we can bring out some of the hydrogen alpha of the Barnard's loop. All that's left to do is just keep taking light frames and kill time, I guess. I don't know. All right, it is about 12:54 in the morning. That's the moon. It's an 88% waxing, no, 88% waning gibbous phase, and that's Jupiter. And they're both far enough away from Orion that I hope they shouldn't pose a problem, but nevertheless, I still have my L-Pro filter on just in case to help mitigate some of this more city-based light pollution. I'm talking fast because I'm trying to keep my brain warm. My jacket is heating right now. My pants I still haven't turned on. My socks I haven't turned on. So I'm gonna go as long as I can before I turn those on to give me the longest duration of heat I can possibly get for this night. Orion is probably at the top of its arc now, and it's going to be heading kind of down relative to the horizon very shortly, so I think we're in a good session today. Hopefully there's enough that'll turn out tonight. It's very unusual for me to have a clear night and not have any work or any other obligations, so I'm taking full advantage of it as best as I can. So that blinking light is an ANA flight from Haneda to Dulles, and it's a 787-9 in the Star Wars livery. Just flew right through Orion and right through my shot. Thanks a lot. That's pretty cool though. Alright, so I'm shooting around the Orion Molecular Cloud Complex. Particularly, I'm going for Barnard's Loop, which is the red hydrogen alpha cloud that is kind of looping around the belt area of Orion. Kind of inside of it is the Orion Nebula and the Horsehead and Flame Nebula, so we'll still see some of those in the picture, but for now, kind of in the cruise phase of astrophotography. I'm 250 exposures in, and onward we go. The moon's so bright tonight that you can see the contrails. This is a FedEx flight from Osaka to Memphis, going right over my head. It's a 777 freighter, pretty cool. Thankfully it's flying past Orion, not into my shot. I did end up going out 2 days later for one more session to pile on another 8,000 seconds of total integration time, opting for 10-second exposures for that session. Any longer of an exposure and the light pollution was starting to wash everything out, which really drove home the challenge of shooting in such a relatively bright area. At the end of that first session, I was so focused on taking my calibration frames that a whole cargo ship snuck past me, and I didn't notice it till I was reviewing all the footage. Even with over 4.5 hours of total integration time, you can see just how modest the result is. Nevertheless, I think the project's off to a good start, and here's what I got.